Oh, boss? Yeah, I just had a look at it. That's fucking insane. Wait, I'll pull it up on stream. Actually, this one. This red carpet's tough for sure. You know, happens. Clearly to the best of us, but I should have uploaded the area. I should put like shit. Okay, good learning. Mentally locking in the learning done. Let's check these rank games. Dude, Diamond to Challenger? Fuck, bro, you're living the dream. That's cooked. Last season D4 to Challenger is fucking cooked, bro. How old are you? Love to see the Magi's on Zach. Oh, you have another account. This is a second account, is it? Oh, it's level 66, yeah. Holy fuck, bro. You ain't playing about this shit. That's for real, bro? That's so crazy to me. Dude, the idea of being so good at League that I could just, fuck it, start a second account in like 2 splits, get Challenger. The sheer amount of games I would have to play to get Challenger would be fucked. And even when I was like peak at support, like which is not this season, I feel washed right now. But like last season when I was feeling super confident and like I couldn't miss a hook on like Thresh and Nort, I swear my max would only be like D2. Maybe low masters if I had a really lucky run. But definitely not GM, because I know GM's like a whole nother step. And the masters players I've versed have been like head and shoulders above diamond players. But like, yeah, I know there's like a massive jump when it comes from like diamond to masters is a big jump. Diamond to GM is a fucking unbelievable jump. And apparently GM to challenger is like the most inconceivably large jump, despite it being such a small percentage. This is just what I've heard from high elo players. Damn, bro. It just keeps going, bro. So you just get home and play fucking League, bro? This is... Bro, if my op.dg looked like this, oh my god. Ropes. Fucking ropes, bro. Seven MVPs in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 game stretch. Bro, that's like a 50% MVP rating. That's so cooked. Oh. I'll be right back. I'm back, bro. Working from home. Insanity. I studied teaching, so obviously can't do that from home. Gotta go in and teach the youth, brother. That's so cooked though. So, Mr. Challenger guy, wait. Can I get you in voice call and ask you some questions about the game? Because genuinely I want to pick someone's brain who's good at the game. That's like if it's... I don't know what time it is in LA. I don't know if you are down, but if you are, I'd love to pick your brain. Like, genuinely. Dude, it just keeps going! This is so crazy to me. Strong down? Fucking oath, bro. Okay, if you click below on the stream, Challenger interview, yeah. Wait, I'll go put on a suit. If you click the link below, it'll take you to my Discord server, and if you just join any voice call, I'll just like drag you up. Callus, anime profile picture. Fuck yeah, bro. Yeah, just join any voice call, I'll drag you in. Howdy, partner.
What is up, my friend?
Whoa, American accent. Wait, where? Which? Wait. Can I guess? Can I guess?
Yeah, sure.
Um, wait. Say I went down to the water hole.
I went
And
down to the water hole.
the water hole.
Yeah,
Okay. Wait, I'm locking in.
it's an easy one. It's an easy one.
Cali.
No. You're way off at Texas.
Oh no, dude! I never want to guess the
Yeah,
South. If people don't sound like fucking like country hicks,
no,
I never guess South.
well, there's a couple ones that people always go for. It's like Thang. Thang is a big one.
Oh yeah, y'all.
The login fake. What did you want to ask? I got you.
Okay, so obviously you think Zach is good for climbing. Is
Yeah, I
that
think he's alright.
you think it's because he just has the ability like for me if I look at Zach for climbing, I'm looking at the
Hmm.
fact that his ult is very team fight swaying. Like he can get a good engage for his team, be a tank and pump out damage and sort of just be the team fight.
Right. Yeah, I mean you're kind of in the right direction, I'd say. He has good engage. And the thing is, like, he does enough damage plus enough healing that you can kind of force the team fight and not like completely end it.
Yeah.
Uh, like here, I got you. I don't know if you can even show that. So like, where I gotta go to? Oh well, if it'll load. There we go. Don't mind my fucking ARAM inting games. It's like this game, right?
Mm.
So like if you go to most of these, like you can see like I play really weird, which is one of the things that like people notice the most about me is like I'm known on NA for being pretty much untrackable, like in
Mm.
jungle. And it's just because
It's just cuz
so like the thing is like the reason I actually play Zac is because it lends to being able to like kind of move around the map without being seen.
mm.
So before this, I was a Rumble one trick, right? And I peaked like 1600 LP ish.
Mm.
Um, And the thing is, the reason I played Rumble is because I actually used to take Hex Flash Rumble jungle. So I'd Hex Flash over like pits, and so like no one could track me because I would Hex Flash over the pit and then just fucking send it. Or like
Yeah.
I'd go to enemy rafters. Like one of my big ones was Hex Flash here, and then Hex Flash over here between behind enemy mid and get their flash.
That's crazy.
So it's like this just allows me to do it without Hex Flash, especially now that Rumble's kind of cooked. So
Yeah.
it's like like he has really good team fighting and stuff, of course. Like I mean he's Zac, like it's kind of a big thing. Let's see here. So it's like see I can engage and basically give free kills to my team.
Mm.
Especially like like a Fud squishy. And then I can go over here. Like once I've taken over the game, it's pretty much impossible to get away from Zac.
Yeah.
He has a lot of engage on camps, right? So like the thing is because of his double Q, I can jump on any camp. Essentially, like I wait till it's about mid health, right?
Mm.
And as long as it's any camp and the enemy jungler's taking it, I'll probably win the fight.
Yeah.
One because I get the slam, which is a ton of damage, and two because I guess a lot of people don't realize this, but his double Q drops 2 blobs, right?
Mm.
So not only do I get all my health back, it resets my cooldown. So like if I'm playing it correctly, I can reset my W like 3 times in like 3 seconds.
Mm.
So like I just do a shit ton of damage. Moral of the story.
Yeah.
It's like this is like a little different. So I and people are still like weirded by it. I always take Dark Seal on first back. Usually my like on a full clear, I do Bomby, Cinder, Dark Seal.
Mm.
And then I'll take like Oblivion Orb on second back because it's a weird amount of gold and it's better than 2 Amp Tomes.
Mm.
So like a lot of it is just like itemization and then just making sure like I think Zac just lends well to it.
Yeah. Interesting.
So, but that was one thing. But I mean, ask as many questions as you want. I got plenty of time.
Well,
I have
what
too much knowledge on this game.
what time is it in Texas right now?
At 6 p.m.
6 p.m. And what's your main
Yeah.
account? Like, what's your main account? Is it also called Callus?
Yeah, so actually, the reason I hopped on this account is because my other account got hacked and they sold it.
What?
So, yeah, it's because I mean, like a high rank challenger account's worth like probably
Yeah.
$4,000.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
3 or 4 grand. So
It's
so like
easier to.
that's why I'm on this now. Is like I basically just picked this up because this was about midway through the split that I picked this up.
Yeah.
And I just sent it because I mean, to be fair, like even though it sounds like goofy, I actually have a lower win rate than I usually do. Like if I play Rumble,
Mm.
I had, let's see, when I hit 1600 LP, I was like 71% win rate.
Shit.
So like, uh, you know, like, and also, I mean, to be fair, like I think a lot of like my knowledge comes from the fact that so I've hit 1K LP in every role except for ADC. I'm a dog at ADC, like just completely god awful at it. Like I'm sure I'm
Yeah.
like a diamond ADC at best.
That's how I feel
So
about my jungle. I swear I'm an iron jungler, but like everything else, I'm like probably, I don't know,
right.
low
So
plat.
I mean I'm an extreme like I actually kind of tilted the Zac community for a little bit because I'm not a one trick.
Mm.
I've only been playing Zac maybe like well basically however many games are on this account, then maybe like 50.
Okay.
And so like people got a little tilted about it because they were like, because I'm currently probably the best Zac world, and
Mm.
although I say that with like an asterisk because I'm probably not the best Zac. I'm just a
Yeah.
good jungler who happens to play Zac.
Yeah.
And like I've kind of, you know, people were like, "Oh, you could be the best Zac in the world." I'm like, no, I can't really take that because I'm not really a one trick. I'm not the most mechanical Zac player because there's really good Zac players out there,
Yeah.
like Scribbles, stuff like that. It's like,
You're
but it's more of a
just
thing of I just
piloting.
have really good macro.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
really good macro.
Yeah. Mm. Cool. So, with your like, with your way of looking at jungle, where you are trying your hardest to sort of avoid enemy vision and sort of play unpredictable, do you think that matters as much in low elo? Because I feel like junglers below diamond aren't really tracking that well anyway. That's like a
It's not
personal
even so.
conception.
So I do change my like thought process a little bit
Mm.
towards low elo because it is just as worth it, right?
Mm.
But I take quicker lines. So
Oh.
like as opposed to like a challenger game where I might play a little bit more around vision because I know vaguely where they're at, such as the word trick. I don't know if you've ever seen that. That's like a really important mechanic. The higher you get, and I very rarely see people do it.
Mm.
Like, do you know what I'm talking about? Word, like
No.
it's like a word test, like range trick. Here, I'll actually show it to you. It's really important, and people do not talk about it. I actually don't see most challenger players doing it, but grab and bust. It doesn't really matter.
Ambessa.
I don't even know why I'm taking this fight. I actually don't need it,
Well,
but
that
I feel weird. Like,
Your account being hacked actually explains the lack of skin.
yeah, I know. I really don't have that many. Like, oh, actually, no. I have 2 Zac skins. I just don't use them.
What? They're just ugly.
No. It's easier to see his blobs without a skin.
Wait, dude, actually,
Most
so
of the skins
true.
make it hard.
So true.
Yep.
I got the. I think I got the legendary one on an unboxing, and I remember I was playing it. I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, where's my blobs at? Damn.
Really, it's just a thing of like it's so fucking hard to see that I just gave up on it, even though I really like Empyrean and stuff.
Yeah.
So here's this. So the thing is, right? You generally know where people ward. So like through here, right?
Yeah.
So if you know where people ward through here, one thing you can use is you just hover, right? And so the thing is, like, let's say, and this is where I usually use it. The teleport. So like, let's say someone wards right here, right? Like vaguely, I know where this hits. So like, let's say like this is a fucked up ward. You do not ever ward right here, like where I'm standing, because look at this.
Yeah.
So literally, all I have to do is
It's
like
just
I
hug the
know
wall.
as long as I stick here. If I hug the wall, they'll never know I'm here. And then another big reason is like if you go here, here, look where else you don't see. I can drag the entire raptor camp without them knowing. So I know that if I watch them, because generally speaking, you'll have supports, but like in lower elo, I'll walk up here. So lower elo players consider this to be like end all be all. As long as this is here, they don't think you're invading, right?
Yeah.
So like if I'm playing Zac, like there's the occasion where if I'm like level 3, I'll just go from this wall to here, and I just take whatever I want. And the thing is like even if, and this works up until like masters, because the thing is, right? Most master players are very, very much relying on vision to track you correctly.
Yeah.
So if they're not tracking me correctly and they don't see me here, they're eventually going to come like through here, and I still win that fight early because again, if I fight on a camp, I'm probably going to win it.
Yeah.
Right. So the thing is like, you just end up with these like kind of taking advantage of like vision because there's really not that many good words through here, but people act like it. I think there's one really good word, and it's like somewhere through here because you're not trying to catch vision because like most players know you can't. So it's like they'll put one like here-ish, or like it might be right here. I can't remember. It's one of these. Because it'll catch almost every invade.
Yeah.
Because you're not relying on this. You just need to know if they've been there, not necessarily because like in Hyrule, you know, okay, if they've been here, I need to go here.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're not like trolling you're not trolling yourself by not doing it. So it's just like little things like that. Even though it seems like kind of goofy and like a lot of people think it's useless, like I'm sure you can imagine, like just being able to know where, like for people to not know where you're at is huge.
So when you say the vision trick, you're talking about like knowing where the outer circle of vision is on regular ward spots.
Yeah, so like I'll actually do this, and because it's an intersect of vision, I'll go like this, and I'll know like vaguely where I'm at because it'll hit the edge.
Oh, true.
So I'm like hovering the edge. So like here, for example, right? I hit here, right? And so like let's see, the line is like right about there, like right here, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, I know that, boom, I know about how far I have to make that work.
Yeah.
Like it's more of a range thing than an exact like measure, right? So I'm just using this to like I know that as long as I'm vaguely within this line, like I have about this much around me, then I'm completely fine.
I can't see your cursor when you're doing it. I can only see when
Oh,
it clicks.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. Like clicking around here.
Yeah, I can see when it clicks. I can't see the cursor.
Okay, well here I'll just use it as an example. So like here, right? So the thing is, I don't know if you can see where I'm showing.
No.
It's like right here.
Oh yeah.
So this is the edge. So I'm just using like a small radius around myself, like about this big, right?
Yeah.
And or it's a little larger than that. It's like about that big. I'm using the radius myself. Another good example is if you stand right here, it's almost exactly this size.
Yeah.
It's very, very close.
Of how much your character can be seen by wards.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. So I'm literally just like hugging the wall, and the moment you're gone, dude, or the moment you're past that, you can go crazy because they're never gonna see you. Pretty much like in low elo, dude, I'll literally get 3/4 of the map before they're done clearing this.
Interesting.
Like just because they don't clear correctly, like I know more or less the timers for most champions. Like I don't know it exact, to be honest with you. I'm not actually that good at like tracking like exact numbers for that stuff.
Yeah,
just because I don't really care. But I know close enough.
You have a challenger level understanding of general clear speed.
Yeah. I know like Kane's gonna be there closer than fucking I don't know.
Camille.
Sejuani.
Yeah.
Camille. Yeah. Like I know that like is close enough. So it's kind of one of those things. And then like, you know, like the biggest thing in low elo genuinely is just staying out of vision. Because if they don't know where you're at, they're never going to track you. So I put a lot of effort. Like when I say I just take better lines, like I know there's not going to be wards here, right?
Yeah.
So as opposed to like in a challenger game, I might land here and then sweep as I walk over, right? I'm probably just going to go like full on.
And assume
like I'm gonna go all the way to the bush.
Yeah,
it's not warded. Yeah, because the thing is, I also know that like if it is warded, these players don't clear as well as I do. They don't clear with as high of HP. I will win the fight, right?
Yeah.
So it's like kind of a it's just a knowledge gap, right?
Yeah.
Like that's 90% of climbing, even up until like masters, dude. Like a masters player knows their champion really well, right? Because obviously they have to be able to like climb, right? They know the champion well, but the thing is like there's such a knowledge gap between like masters, dude. I played a Cassante jungle and went 16-4 yesterday in like mid masters, like 200 LP.
That's insane.
And it's like it's such a like knowledge gap, not even necessarily of the champion itself, but like I'm just estimating timers better. Like I'm keeping better jungle tempo because like I've done a good amount of coaching and I've always told people the same thing. If you're jungling, people don't realize, right? Like if you're not hitting your camps on like the moment they're up, right? Like I've shown like a couple people who I was like coaching at the time. I was like, okay, you clear this side of the map and I'll clear this side of the map. And I was like, we'll do it for 10 minutes and see the CS gap, and I can get like 25 CS on them, like without actually being near them because like I just have better tempo. My respawn timers are better. Like I always say like the concept of like if you if you start out with more money and you're like 20 you're 20 years old and you have 10 grand in like an investment account, you'll like if someone who's 25 puts in like even more than that amount, they will never catch up.
Yeah, because of perpetuity.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing is, if you use that as an example, it's the same concept. I have set up my baseline way better, and so by continuing that baseline, they'll never catch up, and I'll continue to gap them.
Yeah, I
See
get.
what I mean?
So, like, you're saying since you are able to do your camps when they respawn, the
Hmm.
camps are going to respawn quicker than the enemies, which means you're going to
Correct.
get back to them quicker. And by 10 minutes, the
Hmm.
like speed in which you have done them repetitively
I'm an
has
entire cycle ahead by that time. Yeah.
exactly, yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. And like to give you like another example, right? And this is how that
Wait one
continues,
second,
right?
sorry.
Yeah, yeah, you're good.
Sorry, I'm back.
Oh, you're good. So to continue that though, right? And this can be used for anybody, I think, but like jungle especially. So if I clear that like an entire cycle faster, right? What do I get in between? I get more time, right? So the thing is, by having better tempo, by knowing my camp timers better than the enemy player, right? I quite literally will have 40 extra seconds, like on average, even if I do it a little slow, about 40 seconds to gank that they don't have.
Mm.
Because I just have better timers, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm timing it like significantly better. I don't know if you know this, but if you keep perfect tempo, you will almost always come into lane on wave hit, as long as people are farming correctly.
Yeah.
It's like a weird timer that most people don't like, I think, acknowledge, and it's really good. But like you play support mainly,
Yeah.
so I was best. I was the best Herrick, like I think the second best Herrick world,
Really?
probably at one point. Yeah. So that during my support climb, I played Rumble and Tarek support
Mm.
and Senna too. But the thing is, like, okay, like the way that that transfers over to like support, for instance, right?
Yeah.
The roam timer in low elo is infinitely more important than it is even in high elo. So like in high elo, people know how to roam time, so they time their roams around like pushes, stuff like that, wave management, right? But the thing is, if I have a good roam timer and I have like let's say I offset my ADCs back, right? Like I'm an enchanter, I don't have to go back, or I
Yeah.
don't have to back, but my ADC does because I don't know, just not taking as much damage.
Yeah.
Well, like a lot of low elo players will just back with their, like that's okay, right? Like you can back with your ADC.
Yeah, get a
There's
reset
nothing
and a
wrong with
fairy
hitting.
charm.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, like, it's honestly probably better at that point because the thing is, like, like it might be better to do that in high elo, right? Because in high elo, you are gonna get punished, right? If you don't like have item difference, right?
Yeah.
But in low elo, dude, there's literally zero reason not to just go straight for like a roam mid.
Yep. So I was gonna ask about this because it's interesting, and I might just turn off my camera for this. Actually, no, it won't. It doesn't matter. When you look at ganking mid from bot lane, I swear 90% of the time my jungler hasn't got crab, so there's vision in the middle of the lane. What is the best path on both sides that you think to walk mid?
I will show you fucking God's work right here, my friend.
Please do.
I swear to God, no one fucking appreciates this. So the thing is, this is okay. You can go around, right?
Is this
So like what I like to do?
So this is the first one is if you're on blue side.
Yeah. So if
Yep.
I'm on this side, okay. Like let's say I know, like I have a wave or a wave pushed, right? Most of the time, people assume that you backed. You can quite literally hug the wall, get out of vision. They don't know you're here, and so they assume you backed, right?
Yeah.
And so like I will totally take this because it's actually not that much like longer to get there than here, right?
Mm.
And there's two like really good ways to do this, right? So if you're in the bush, low elo players make bad wards. Right there, that's a bad word. Right here, that's a bad word. Do you know why?
Yeah, because it doesn't cover the whole way.
Not just that. So like let's say the wave's right where it is, right? If I walk out right here, they can't see me until here.
Oh.
Yeah, you will not be able to see. You see how this is faded, right? Like already just from standing here. But look, like as I get out to the wave, like, oh, it's not showing very well. But yeah, see, like if I'm literally just right here, look how far that goes out. That shadow. Like you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So like you can literally get like a good amount into the fucking lane before they know.
By hugging the wall. And would you say it's
By
better?
hugging the wall.
Would you hug the far wall or the close wall if you're a blue side here?
Yeah. So if I'm on blue side, I'm probably gonna hug this wall. And the reason for that is like, well, okay, so it's also lane dependent. Like, if let's say the wave's where it is right now, I'm definitely not gonna do that. Let's say I'm playing a hook champion, right? I'm probably gonna hug this wall.
Yeah.
Or honest to God, dude, like I've had plenty of ones where I mean this is also why I take Hex Slash, right? Because like you can just completely fuck them up.
Mm.
Um, and the reason I actually started taking Hex Slash because there's a Poppy support player on NA, right?
Who hex
Called
flashes the
Hero of
raptor pit?
Demacia.
I've seen this. Yeah.
Yep, every single game almost. And the
Yeah.
pressure from it, is actually unstoppable because they don't hex flash it. She just flashes over because obviously she doesn't have hex flash until she flashes. But yeah, she does that he does that like almost every game, right?
And he eased the mid laner towards his own mid laner,
Yep,
right?
correct.
For an easy trade.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
And it is complete cancer to play against. I've played against it plenty of times, and like you wouldn't believe so the thing is in like low elo, like I always say. So like what support champions do you play?
Mostly engage for climbing. I do love Yumi,
Okay.
but she's not that good for climbing, it feels like.
Yeah, that's probably true. Okay, so here is like my greatest advice to you to get out of low elo, and I only learned this after ages, at least as a support, right? Take spellbook, no matter what you're playing. Okay,
Unsealed spellbook.
hell, unsealed spellbook, brother. It is fucking ridiculous in this elo because. Here, I'll actually get out of this so I can show you what I'm talking about because I used to do this all the time.
Wait, I'm writing this down.
Yo, like I'm telling you, man, like this is genuinely like I have a friend of mine who kind of cooked this up, and he plays AP Shaco support, right? No joke, doing this, he went from being hard stuck like mid gold, he's diamond 1 right now, with like a 68% win rate.
Okay.
So like I'm a big proponent of the fact that like just being a menace on the rift is way better than anything else I can do. Right?
Would you believe me if I told you that my one true love has always been Shaco, but I'd never been able to make him work support?
Dude, I'm telling you, I will actually put you in contact with him. He is the best. He has to be the best AP Shaco I've ever seen on NA at least.
Yeah.
He's insane. He's so good at it because like he just knows how to like completely troll the enemy like constantly. So let me show you why. We'll do, I mean, doesn't actually, anything that has any amount of like, preferably you want to play something that can double as a jungler, right? So like here, let's say I take Poppy, right?
Wait,
and I think genuinely this might be a hate crime.
Is this going into the enemy jungle and smiting their camps?
Oh, that implies that I do that one time. I do it on repeat.
Oh, this is the fucking, I don't know if you know him. He's an O Scion player.
Tiltarella?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tiltarella. Yeah, this is the continued version of that. Literally, like this is where it came from. Was someone was watching Tiltarella, and it was actually me and a friend talking about it, right? And he was like, "What if I just took unsealed spellbook, and I just roam, like perma, right?"
Yeah.
But you can do this without having to have the jungle item, right? So he does it 2 different ways. If he thinks he's going to be ahead, he'll buy the jungle item, right? He'll get it to 900. Here, I'll have to reshare. He'll get it to 900 and then sell it for like the actual support item.
Wait, so he upgrades it. So he does enough camps to get it to the 900 threshold, and then he... Sorry, coach. I'm back, coach.
Oh, nice. Thank God. I don't know what the fuck happened to that.
Yeah, it happens.
It's weird because I never had that happen before today, and then I had it happen twice.
Twice in one day?
Yeah, I know. It's I guess it has something to do with fucking Riot, I assume, because like I mean I know there's a bunch of Vanguard issues going on, so because it's only to do with League. I like super weird.
Yeah. Are you currently streaming?
I'm about to.
Okay.
Streaming like my game. Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually stream. Oh, you play Dead by Daylight?
Yeah, I do.
Sick, bro.
Occasionally.
I used to be a Dead by Daylight
Exclusively
streamer.
play Huntress.
Oh, Huntress GOAT. I love that for you.
Yeah, dude. I literally got into it just for the orbitals, for the memes.
Yeah, they're so fun, eh?
Let's see here, Shaco.
Yeah,
so like Shaco's obviously just giga cancer, but it's the most fun.
yeah.
Let's see here. I can't remember what he takes, so I'm just gonna guess.
Probably, yeah, sudden impact.
That's what I was thinking, something like that.
Shaco players love sudden impact.
Probably ult too, because I would imagine it's pretty good for that.
Oh yeah, if it's AP, actually, it might be the CC
Yeah,
one.
I haven't tried the AP. I actually did an entire or like a somewhat climb with AD Shaco because it's just as good. Like I do AD Shaco for just normal double junk without spellbook.
Oh really? I
That's
think
really good.
I think AD Shaco is, in my fucking, in my humble opinion, as someone who's played a fair bit of Shaco but never really been able to
Yeah.
climb with him, I think that AD Shaco is probably the better like climbing pick, whereas
It's better.
yeah, AP Shaco is more like late game, sort of like web mastermind.
Yeah, it's almost like it's almost unarguably better.
Mm. Because you just
So
pop
the
up
thing
in
is,
lanes and
first
one shot
off,
dudes.
yeah, I know. So first off, he always goes to the opposite buff. He literally like he'll go over here and he'll start spam pinging his teammates to like fucking ward, right? Or just to do anything to try to figure it out, like what they're doing.
Yeah.
I have this weird shit where for whatever reason, like I guess it's not just me. Like a bunch of people I know, they you ever have it so that like I have multiple monitors and whenever I'm on borderless, occasionally my mouse will go off on my second screen.
Yeah.
It's so annoying. I hate it. I know it doesn't mean anything, but I don't like it.
Yeah, I used to do windowed and it used to piss me the fuck off.
Mm.
Because my computer couldn't run it on full screen.
Basically, he'll just go to the opposite buff and he'll just do like a full Shaco setup. And it's AIDS, dude. So the thing is, like, he'll do like the normal setup, but he's okay with it being a little longer because he's having to zone. So he'll pop a box right here to see if to basically to stop them if they try to come stop him.
Yeah.
So like quite literally, dude, this guy, it's such a menace to play against. I've seen him play so many games of this. And moral of the story, he's literally just doing this. And like most of the time he'll take 2 camps sometimes. It depends on like how how much time he thinks he has. Like if it's a fast clear like champion, he probably is like a little iffy about it because he doesn't put up the full box setup. And like literally I've seen him do this so many times. And then he just goes right here and he just fucking goes over mid and tries to make him flash. Or at least he can usually take a summoner spell. And the thing is, what's even crazier, because he usually places this last, like I placed him out of order. He'll place like 2 here and then 1 last. So usually by that time, he's got actually enough time to come back here. Because he just goes straight for him and then he'll come back and take this really quick. Which is like obviously one of his faster camps. And what's even like crazier to me is he builds hybrid.
Oh.
He builds hybrid.
Like Leandro Shojin?
No, so he goes straight for Blackfire. Like immediate Blackfire. And then he takes what is it? Oh, he'll take like Voltaic sometimes just for a little bit extra shot on him because he's basically saying that like a lot of the time he's a little bit behind like comparatively, well, not always, like it really depends on the game, but like he likes to be able to actually attack to do things as well as opposed to just like hoping the boxes hit. Yeah, it works, dude. I mean, it's actually disgusting how well this works because it's always cheese strats like this. Like I actually lost a game in fucking gold the other day because like on a Smurf account because this fucking guy, it's like a duo and I should have realized what was happening. They had a 98% win rate together and over like 25 games. And I was like, that's a little weird. Well, come to find out they were playing fucking Quinn Nunu, which is like really weird. Never heard of that. It's like a booster strat, but it clearly worked because dude, I could not carry that game because they were just like the Nunu is just speed running around the map along with Quinn.
And but, what they were just wombo comboing dudes?
Yeah, dude, it was fucking so hard to play against because I'm like, what am I supposed to do here? And I was playing Gwen, so I was just having to try to split to beat it, and it was eventually it couldn't happen.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But yeah, dude, like the thing is, all you have to do is quite literally just do that shit. And in my opinion, the best, like I've told so many people this, the best damage you can do in League of Legends is mental damage because you can't build against that.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a good cheese strat. I'll try it in my Norms games, see what I can make of it.
Do it. You will have the most fun you've ever had in a game at the very least. It is so stupid, and it is just. You just know they're suffering.
Yeah, like Red Raptors mid, and then take a reset into doing whichever side of the map you think they won't do.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, or you can just fight them for the crab. I do that all the time. Or like the thing is like the timing on the back is you can actually probably get to crab right as it's spawning and smite it.
That's so fucked
Because
up.
the reason it's so good in low elo is so there's two things that happen in low elo that are consistent with junglers that I noticed. They either will smite, they'll smite a camp before, and they will like usually the buff, like red buff or something
Yeah.
on their second buff. They'll smite the buff before, so they won't have a second smite, or they will have the smite, but they'll be 15 seconds late.
Yeah.
So the thing is, right, you are waiting there on the spawn, and there is no chance that that player is going to be there.
Yep.
And even if they are, they've smited. So like half the time, dude, if I think they've smited, so I'll just judge by the time. I'll literally just walk out, dance for a second, and smite it. Just to be a fucking dickhead. Like
to inflict maximum mental.
Dude, so one of my favorite climbs I ever did was Nico Jungle. And because I would go in, I would invade, and then I would take their blue buff as like my copy, and I would quite literally like I would take like whenever I was invading, I would take their blue buff as a copy, take the blue buff, and then walk between tier 1 and tier 2, like as blue buff, so they could see me.
What? Just to fuck with them?
Yeah.
Okay.
There is no reason other than to like make them sad. Dude, I've done so much stuff like that, and like that's why like I'm literally known on NA to be just a menace of a player.
Holy fuck.
Because it's like how do you play against that, dude? Like I did something similar one time against, I can't remember who it was. It was like one of the pro players on NA. And when I did that shit, dude, because I was like I watch their streams sometimes just to hear the reaction. Like I won't actually ghost because that's fucking cringe.
Yeah.
But like I'll listen to the reaction. I remember him going, dude, like he's like, what the fuck? What is happening? What is this Nico doing? And then I disguised myself as one of his raptors and one shot him as he Like, do you know how much that must have hurt, dude? Like, all I heard was him slam his desk. He's like, what the fuck? And like, I was down CS, dude. I was down like 2 camps. But the thing is, it was so worth it because I know that guy does not know where I'm at that point. And he's looking at every time he touches raptors or wolves, he's fucking counting them. It's like, just in case.
Oh, no way. 7 raptors, my lucky day.
Dude, I was like, that's a little weird.
So the sexy streamer thinking I'm about to watch immaculate gameplay of Dota. Boy, I was wrong. Nah, bro, it's League. What's up, Revan? How you doing? So I like the off meta shit.
Yeah.
Let's focus the conversation.
Some on meta shit.
Yeah, let's focus the conversation back to on meta stuff because I think this is
Okay.
actually maybe going to make a decent YouTube video.
Oh yeah, I'm down for it. Let's do it.
So I've written up some notes. Some of these are jungle specific.
Okay.
Some of them will be support specific. So with ganks. So I've heard from watching favorite streamer is Sanchovies. He always says that good junglers. I love Sanch. He's so funny.
He's so funny, dude. He's one of the few high elo streamers I actually watch.
Yeah, because he doesn't like just sit there and complain about the game, you know.
That's true.
Anyway, so he always says that good junglers basically gank not off position but off of summoner spells.
Correct.
Yeah. How do you sort of like talk me through your approach of that? So if you find out that, say, you have a Camille top into an Ornn and Camille got like Ornn flash, are you just tower diving instantly or what?
Oh, here. Actually, you know what's probably easiest? If I just bring up a game I played. I think that's probably easiest.
Sounds good. Because I always hear this, and I always echo the point, because I've heard quite a few high-elo players.
Well, it's really, really hard. It's really, really hard to just tell someone that, right?
Yeah,
Because the thing is, like, again, you can take that however you want. And it's 10 times easier if I go, like, okay, this is, like, the situation for me. Let's see here. I want to talk about I had some god awful games today with these players. 3 aces in a row with not a single win. There you go. That's my greatest advice, boys, is the fact that just because they're challenger does not mean they're good.
Mm.
I've had I've coached plenty of people where they literally say they're like, oh my gosh, I would love to be in challenger or master so that I can have good teammates. I'm like, little do they know.
I thought when I first hit plat, my original reason I started climbing on support was because I enjoyed playing support, but like my ADCs felt like rejects, and playing
True.
support for an ADC who isn't like aggressive and playing correctly is just a little bit tilting. So I was
Yeah.
like, when I finally hit plat, I was like, surely plat ADCs would be different. Plat ADCs are better than gold ADCs, but like,
I'd have to agree.
but then finally, like at diamond, I feel like that's when ADCs start really mechanically cracking. But most of them are like tilt machines.
It's true, like Emerald.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing is here, okay, so like, let's see. So like the thing is like most of the time people are pinging, right?
Yeah.
So, but I'm also watching like really heavily. So like I'm pretty good at like keeping like watch on the map. Like as Zach has a little different because he has kind of a hard clear because you have to be watching for your blobs and shit.
Yeah.
So I mean, to be fair though, like I got really good at this because Rumble's clear is like one of the hardest in the whole game. So like the thing is, right? Like I see he's already flashed, so I go in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's see another example. Who am I playing against? I don't even know who that player is. Just gonna say like if I was against someone like Sheedan or something like that, he'd be a really good example too, because he has really good tracking of like things. So I died a Milia there. I don't even remember that happening. Okay, let's try for like an actual. So these are like fights and stuff, but that's actually a really good one to be honest here, especially for supports. This is something like it's a little different, but I think it is really important too. It's kind of in the same vein though of like engaging properly, like into like situations. This is the thing that I always tell low players that I think that they're doing wrong, and I find this like
Good smite steal.
Yeah. So the thing is though, like you'll notice that so my E goes farther than that, right? Here, if it'll hurry up. Okay, so you'll notice my E does go farther, and I see a lot of low elo players shooting for that. You see how I go for the edge?
Yeah.
I go for the edge because again, there's a chance that if I go any farther in, I'm gonna get CC'd or some form of something.
Oh,
And so
interesting.
like I set up a winning fight. So I set up a winning fight because I can still engage from here. A low elo player goes on the 2. I don't need to kill them to get that smite. I need to stay as live as long as I can in case something goes wrong, right?
Yeah. Interesting.
So like that's like a big one as far as like I'm concerned. Here, let me grab the other game because this one was not gank heavy. It was because it just kind of got stalled out to the point we lost the game.
It was what? You cut off after.
It just got stalled out.
Oh yeah.
The game was just very slow. It wasn't very gank heavy. It was very much like stalled until something.
Interesting. Yeah. When you
just lost the game.
When you said like not knowing that you don't have to go for the 2-man, the 1-man is like a good enough engage and you'll stay alive longer and it'll be a better fight for your team if you do it that way. It honestly, I don't know if you ever played Overwatch, but there was this big conversation in the Reinhardt community about 1-man shatters. Where most new Reinhardts are like, oh bro, 6-man shatter, how does my team not win, right? But
it
sometimes
doesn't always make the sense. Yeah, it doesn't always make sense to do that.
Sometimes it's better to just get a solo shatter on like the main tank or like the carry DPS. Make sure that guy dies, then you're in like a numbers advantage and you're going to like
absolutely, yeah, and you're gonna collapse in.
Yeah, exactly, because it's like sort of like a game of Jenga in Overwatch where once one team lost like a player, they were going to lose that fight usually. Especially like Goats meta. I don't know how much Overwatch you played, but
I've played a good amount like a long time ago.
Yeah, so you sort of get what I'm saying.
So like here, right? Like I saw there was a fight. I believe it happened just before. Yeah. So like the thing is, I wasn't here for this fight, or I was like kind of here for this fight. I was not able to like actually jump in because it would have been ent to do that. I know Graves is here. The thing is though, I know Graves is gonna back there because there's no camp. So I'm using this logic. I know she just flashed, so that's why I'm going in here. Despite the fact that she might be able to get away, she's still like gankable because of that, right? And the thing is, right, like this is something for junglers specifically. The reason I know that he's gonna back is because he headed down here probably to think about checking my raptors, but he knows that I probably came from this way. So, but like that won't happen as much because people don't go for those like little leads like that in the middle of a fight. but
Yeah.
like challenger players will. Like that's probably why he walked down here.
Mm.
But I saw him walk down. That means there's no chance of being like jungle gap because he'd have to go through here or like for him to fight. Like he would have to go through a really weird angle, which would be ending, right?
Yeah.
So at this point, I know I'm like, okay, like she's like there. I see how I get out of it, or like I walk around, and then I go for the gank here because I just saw her use her abilities, and she is gonna die, right? And I see Zoe in here, so boom, she's dead. But you see how like I waited, like I didn't instantly, like I waited for the right moment as opposed to like just going all in. A lot of low players just go for it, right?
Yeah.
So let's see here. Yeah, and then I of course like I help her push because again, she's not a fast pushing champion. But like let's look again. You see bot no sums, right?
Yep.
A lot of people are like it's really hard to gank an Ezreal. But the thing is, as Zac, Ezreal's very bad into Zac actually. It's very hard for him to fight. So I'm thinking, okay, like I'm better into this. So yeah, I have lockdown, and I also have like a semi gap closer, right? So I recall here, but because I was thinking about going for it, but I didn't end up at the. I think I do maybe. Rems, yeah. So they ended up killing him. I think they actually pinged me off, if I recall. Because they were just gonna go for it, and I would have ruined their wave state. So even though that was right, like that's another thing. You see how because I was like you saw me walking towards it, but that secretly would have been troll, because they would have probably lost this whole wave. And that's like really really bad. So the thing is like they know that I'm not gonna be like useful here, so I basically am like, okay, like I'm gonna go somewhere else. Not to mention this is just a way stronger lane.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go somewhere else that also has no sums. Look at top lane. Top lane has no sums. So this is what they mean by playing around sums, right? Because I could go bot. So they're the same amount of camps top lane as there are bot lane, or top side is bot side. So I'm not even using that as like a thought process, right?
Yeah.
Because I know like I see Graves top, I see Ambessa like top. I'm not sure if she was low the whole time. Regardless, I would have headed up here because I know there's no sums there and bot lane is fine. Because why would I head bot if I'm expecting to, like I know a lot of like lower elo players go, okay, like we could have gotten dragon, right?
Yeah.
Like 2 camp to dragon does make sense. However, I see here my Camille's ahead and Bessup's behind. I would rather keep this like how am I supposed to get like a dragon, because I know they're gonna fight, right? Like I know it, they're a strong side. Why would I ever go to dragon with a bot lane that I know is going to be half health, right?
Yeah.
So my thought process is, okay, I'll instead go top lane where I have a strong ass Camille who's probably not going to die here, right? And then I'm going to go for Grubs because look, Graves wants it, but I just denied the shit out of him because I have a level lead and he can't fight me, right?
Yeah.
Like I just went for back, so that's another thing. Is this back timer made that possible in part, right?
Yeah.
Because he knows, he looked at my items and he goes, "Oh shit, he has way more items than me. I can never fight this."
Yeah, you're
right?
back. You're back on the map stronger.
When I had this flipped, I was trying to say it earlier, like I know they're gonna fight and they were pushed in, but I had that flipped.
Yeah.
So we won't pay attention to that. Regardless of that, what I should have said here, realizing is I have a losing bot lane, and the bot lane is there's no fucking way that this bot lane can fight this. So I had the opposite. I like at this point I'm like looking down here. I'm going, okay, my bot lane. There's no fucking way they can go in. That and they learned that, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got a little bit talked.
Yeah. Like it's a foreign or Quirky. They do not get to play this. Like, how the hell do they ever get to play like this lane? I'm literally ending by going down here because think how Galio just locks me down and Quirky shreds me, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So like, I believe for the rest of this game, I'm trying to think. I'm getting the 2 games mixed up here, but they were back-to-back rough ones. But again, I get to lock down Grubs. It's really rough for something like Quirky or Ambessa or even Graves to have, or even or any of these 3 champions to have Grubs against you, right? I mean, I'm sure you've seen having like a heavy AD, having 3 AD champions that auto attack like that is going to be really rough to play against, right?
Yeah.
Especially because they have solid wave clear. Like that is a disaster. Like Corki, I'm sure you've seen Corki with grubs is rough to play against. It sucks.
So, actually, while we're here and sort of on the topic, I'll move to my question about objectives.
Okay, yeah.
So, the way I understand objectives in the jungle, especially if I'm jungling on my like second account, which is in like silver or bronze or some shit, I sort of look at it as generally early game, it's better to get double grubs than it is to get a dragon.
Okay.
But
I would generally agree.
I usually will ignore grubs if I don't have a split pusher and they don't have a split pusher, if that makes sense. Is that
I mean, like,
tell me if that's like if there's like some bad sentiment
I
there.
think I disagree. I think I disagree with that because honestly, just the fact that like this comes off of a different opinion that I have together with this, and you'll see in my runes. So in my runes, I take demolish, right?
Yeah.
Despite being a jungler, and people ask about that a lot. Like I'm the only Zach that started doing that. Now other people do too. But the thing is, like, it's because like I extremely like I hold insane value, especially in lower elos, in turret health, right? Not even necessarily taking the turret, but turret health. Okay. So the thing is, there's so many examples in so many games where if you don't like, let's say you're about to dive like this tower, right? Or you're about to you're about to dive this tower. The difference between it being 1/3 health and 2/3 health, right? The difference is with 1/3 health, I can maybe get that demolish proc off and just destroy it, and then the dive is almost 100% successful, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing if I can get a couple extra hits because like maybe we're about to run out of minions, but I have grubs instead. I can get those extra hits, and it allows for dives. It allows for, let's say, Camille to push better, right? It's just a faster push, right? So the thing is, depending on what this dragon is, like I might just say no. Because like let's say it's first dragon, so first dragon, second dragon. So there's a couple of thoughts here that because of that I have. Let's say first dragon is mountain, right? I probably won't go for that. I just don't care. Because the fact that I now know it's not a mountain soul, right? And then again, if I ever saw like let's say mountain hex tech or vice versa, I'm probably not prioing dragon at all. Because that means there's a good chance it's like hex tech.
Yeah, so
or not hex tech, sorry, it's chem tech.
Yeah, with your dragon souls from best to worst real quick.
Okay.
Mountain,
probably
hex.
best is mountain.
Yeah.
Mountain and then hex tech. I would almost give Infernal and Ocean a tie. They're very hard to like because it's very comp dependent, both of them. Because Infernal, you can be behind with Infernal Soul and actually it'd be completely useless.
Yeah.
Hex tech is always useful, so that's the thing, is it's always useful, and the same thing with Mountain. Mountain can turn an entire game. I mean, you know. But like, what is the? There's very few comps where Air or Cloud Drakes makes any difference.
Really, I feel like what's the character I like playing that has good Mountain Drake synergy?
No, I'm saying Cloud Drake, not Mountain Drake.
Oh yeah, sorry, Cloud Drake. Yeah, I get that actually. That's true. And then what? Hex Tech is the worst. Oh, not Hex Tech. Chem Tech's the worst by far. You reckon?
I'd say so. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
I think that there's times where it's good, but like, dude, it's not when I'm prioing. Let's put it like that. Because like, I'm still gonna try to take these, right? Like, I'm okay going 2 dragons down for 6 grubs.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
interesting.
All day long. I am okay with that because the thing is also like, if you have confidence in your jungling ability, right? It won't matter. You're gonna get it back, right? Because at that point, after I have 6 grubs, I have just absolutely pushed the fuck out of my lands, right? So like, let's say like that's the mistake people are making there, right? And that's like a huge mistake people do, is if you're taking 6 grubs from then on as a jungler, you're trying to gank as much as you can, and you are pushing waves because you're going to push out the towers, the lanes open up, we get deep vision, and then it's almost impossible to take dragons from me.
So you're saying that the 6 grubs is like so much better than the double drake because it allows your like solo laners, if they ever hit a turret, to get more damage off. And they'll like push their advantage line past tier 1 towers, giving you more control of the map. That makes sense.
Well, let's think about this in low elo especially, right? Because it's a little different in high elo because people know how to use the dragons correctly, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, it is a conscious effort to use dragons, right? Correctly. Unless it's Mountain Soul, which is why it's so good, right?
Yeah.
Is it a conscious effort to hit the tower?
Okay, yeah,
The most
I see the
brain
point. I see
dead
the point.
iron player can bonk a tower. He
Yeah,
might die, but he can hit the tower fine, I would imagine.
I get that. I
Right?
get that. Yep.
Yeah, so it's like taking less brain power off your teammate because, like, you know how what they used to say about active items? Like, 75% of
Yeah.
players don't actually use their active items.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with something like that, dude. Like,
Mm,
you just might as well give them a chance to hit the tower or something, man. Like, because they're
yeah.
not going to do anything else.
True. True. Okay. That's a great answer. I feel like that, uh, answers exactly what I
Cool.
needed to know. The next question that's jungle related I had was
Okay.
playing for losing or winning lanes. So
Okay.
I feel like a lot of low elo players are like, bro, I'm losing this lane so hard, you gotta help me. And
Of course.
I feel like that's a bad sentiment because usually it's better to extend on winning lanes. But I also feel like if some matchups are so giga unwinnable, sometimes it's worth to just give a like not a pity gank, but like if you have a Renekton that's if the enemy
Right.
Renekton is 50 CS up and your laner literally has 10 CS because they can't walk anywhere except for their tower
Can't
and they're
walk
getting
up.
proxied,
Yeah.
maybe
Well, let
you
me
should
give you
move
the
some people.
gospel, my friend. Let me give you the gospel.
Please do.
50-50 rule. That's what I've always called it, and will continue to do so. The 50-50 rule, right? You gank a losing lane, and honestly, like a lot of winning lanes, even, right? It's a little bit more flexible with winning lanes, but this is my rule for losing lanes, right? 50-50. They need to be over 50% of the lane, right, to your side, and they need to be under 50% health, right? So the way you placate these players is you go, hey man, if you can get him under 50%, if you can get him under half health, I will come. And most of the time they're willing to accept that. Not all the time. Like, some people are so tilted they don't care. But if it's so bad that like someone's 50 CS down, I'm literally telling them just fucking throw the tower. Like, that's what I'm telling you. Throw the tower, and we can gank him when he pushes up. We can collapse on it.
Oh, that's interesting. Let him get tower early so that there's his wave's
Yeah.
gonna be like more on our side of the map. That's interesting. Okay.
Correct, because like the thing is, I can get away with collapsing this tower, like losing this tower, because eventually I'll be able to collapse on them, and
Yeah.
we'll get this tower back.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, people are, especially in low elo, this is even more so. Like, it happens in high elo too. But the thing is, like, if this guy throws this tower, he can sit all the way back here and just do whatever, and he doesn't really have to wave manage, right?
Yeah, because
And
even if
then
he like fucks up his freeze, it's
Yeah.
only gonna like not even get back to the 50%.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, that's
yeah,
really
yeah, because
interesting.
50% comes right here, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then even if he fucks up that wave again, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So like that's why I say like we're opening up that 50%, right?
Okay.
Because 50% goes from right here to like here.
Yep. So you
It's
would
a much larger room for them to make mistakes, essentially.
yeah. So you would generally say that it's not about winning or losing lanes. It's about finding the best gank that can.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
And not just the best gank, also the best opportunity to put someone behind. Like, not just like because here's a really big one, and you're not going to see this as much in low elo, but it is like important as well. If like my top laner sees like they're that far behind in like high elo, if my top laner sees that they have, like, let's say they're really far down, but they see that I'm coming to gank and collapse, they'll start building up a wave. They'll start last hitting, right? So they build up a wave because they know if we have 3 people collapsing here, he dies, and then we just hard push like 3 waves to him.
Wait, sorry. Can you repeat that?
Yeah. So the thing is, right? Like in high elo, my top laner, the ones who's behind, is going to start last hitting minions, and the reason he's doing that is to build a massive wave, right?
Yeah.
Because basically what we're doing is we're doing 2 things. We're denying a massive wave whenever we kill him, and then we're also on top of that, we're making it so that we have a big enough wave to push this tower and kill it.
Yep. In one
So
fell
like
swoop.
that's huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like the thing is, if we correctly do that, like you got to remember, the longer the lane is, the more minions can build up, right?
Yep.
So imagine if we have 25, 30 minions here,
Yeah.
and he loses all of that. We just made up probably 80% of the gold that my top laner lost.
Interesting. True. Huh. That's actually such an interesting way of looking at it because I don't think I've ever had anyone explain it to me in that way before.
Yeah. All you got to do is if you're behind, you soak XP, right? All you got, because the thing is, like, you can make up gold. You really can.
Yeah.
Like, this game is not that hard to make up gold in, especially with the new like objective bounty system. It's not that hard, right? So the thing is, like, in these moments, like, if this is, let's say this MBS is just freaking 10 kills down, 80 CS down, you know what I mean? Like, this Camille's farming 10 CS per minute, 11 CS per minute or something. Like, at this point, you're just sitting like here. You're just sitting as far back as you can. You're letting your tower go, and then whenever you see it's down to like maybe one plate, you'll let her take it, and you sit back here.
Yep. Interesting. Very interesting. So moving back to the bot lane, I have a pretty general question. Which meta? Oh, sorry, not like without referring to off meta picks. Which support do you think is the best in class for each sort of like subcategory? Because there's like enchanters, engage, sort of like mages like Vel'Koz and shit.
I'm gonna answer that and then asterisk it with low elo, because I think it's really hard to recommend it in high elo because most supports play a ton of stuff.
Yeah, true.
Outside of like one tricks.
Real quick, when you say low elo, you're referring to below D1?
I'd say like masters below masters, like
but anything below masters, okay.
Yeah, I'd say so, because like at that point you have to just be useful.
Yeah.
Like, I'd stay away from Senna. Senna is actually like relatively complex to make work.
Yeah.
It's just like the only time I see in low elo where people are giga fed on Senna is by just like either the enemy team screwed up really bad or they've just stacked for so long that they're fine.
Yeah.
So I'd say like Nami. Nami's never bad. Because the thing is, like, if you look at the tier list of like top duos right now, Nami's in like half of them.
Interesting.
So like, here, let's actually, I have it up already. I was looking at it. I'm always consuming League content. That's how you know I'm
a
nerd.
Okay, that's how you know it's terminal.
I'm telling you, dude. So, okay, let's go by tier here. This is relatively accurate, right? So you see Nami, right? Nami with like most, here, we'll actually go by support first. So Nami just has like, one, she's not that hard to play. Her bubble and her ult are game changing, right? Almost every comp here with Nami is at least A tier, right?
Yeah.
Like and the reason these are B tier is because most of these are B tier, well, besides like Caitlyn, Lucian, most of these are B tier ADCs, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, we go up here, like we go by, I guess again, we can go by one rate. Like Lucian Yumi apparently is insane. I don't know what's up with that, but here we go. Yeah, so like we can kind of just go down this list and eliminate, right? For low elo. Thresh, don't play it. Low elo, like you're not going to play that correctly. You're just going to troll your ADC because you have to play that very specifically to not be trolling, to be honest with you.
When you
Lulu
say
is good too.
Wait, real quick. I want to know about Thresh because I've played a gigametric fuck ton of Thresh, and he does feel like a real knife's edge sort of support. Where some games I feel like I'll carry, and some games I feel like I don't know what I did wrong. When you say like there's a high likelihood of playing it wrong, do you mean not playing the hook and flay as engage versus peel, or are you referring to? Like...
No, you. Like, so the thing is, like, you can be mechanically correct at Thresh, right? And that's fine. The problem is, as a low elo player, you're not going to see the angles that you need to see to carry a game as Thresh.
Interesting.
It's just not like the thing is like it's like you can know what you know, you can know what you don't know, but you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Right? It's like that. So the thing is like if I sit down and you show me a team fight and I'm Thresh, I'm gonna see an entirely different team fight than you are. And it's just because of a knowledge gap, right? It's like you just put time into knowing the stuff. So it's like, and that's also how high elo players get away from that stuff, right? Because like I know what a bad, like if I'm playing against a good Thresh, I know what I can't do, right?
And
so
the good stuff ideally that he would be looking to punish is like carry mispositioning while also trying to peel for his carry.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, well, and it's also like a good Thresh knows how to like mid hook flash flay, and like the thing is he's gonna know how to do that, but he's also gonna know how to do it like in the fight correctly without dying, right? Yeah. So it's just very different. Also knowing how to use your lantern correctly in a fight without like killing your teammates, stuff like that. It's a lot for no reason, because why wouldn't you just play Blitzcrank?
yeah.
Right? Why wouldn't you just play Nautilus? Leona even. And so like I think that's where the next like step is, because if you're not a one trick, I actually think it's less about like top tier in every role or like every like style, right?
Yeah.
I think it's actually more so about having the correct picks of like certain styles, right? So like the thing is, like I know a lot of people who will go like 5 supports, right? Not even like a super high level. The reason is though, because let's say you play Nami, right? Well, we need something to play against Nami, right? So like let's say I actually don't even know what counters Nami these days. I think Lux does really well in Terra and Seraphine too.
Yeah, into Nami, I'm probably picking.
Yeah.
Fuck, what's the character's name? God, how can I not remember it? I'm drawing a blank.
Like a mage.
Maybe.
I think like there's a couple of really good picks into her like that you can do well, because it takes like at that point you're just trying to gap like the level she's at, so you can gap a lot with like in low reload, like like you wouldn't want to play like Nami and Karma's great. Yeah, poke mages essentially, right? Because she just doesn't have the cooldowns to fight back fully.
Yep.
Like she's relying on her ADC doing more damage because of her, as opposed to fighting you herself, right?
Yep.
So anything like Giga aggro like that is just good to Nami. So like maybe you do pick like a Lux, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well let's say someone picks Nautilus, right?
Yep.
What do we pick into Nautilus? Always. There's always
Amelia.
there is one champion. No, there's one champion you pick. Braum. You pick
Really?
Braum every game into a Nautilus. It is his hardest counter. It is an unplayable matchup. You can be the dumbest fucking Braum player on the planet and win that matchup. Like you can have never. I've literally seen like I coach a college team and I've seen our like they locked Nautilus. I told our support, I'm like, grab Braum, and he was like, I don't know, I've never played Braum. I'm like, I do not care. And he put that Nautilus into the ground. It is unplayable, dude. Because the thing is, it's a free kill.
What part of the kit is it? The E or the passive auto stun?
Well, imagine you hook a Braum, he throws up his shield, and then he just passives you.
Yeah.
It's all front. It's all in the front, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, he has to hook. He can't hook through minions, so that means Braum has a free open queue too.
Yep. True.
It is unplayable. You can be the most brain dead Braum player and still win that matchup. It's like genuinely one of the few matchups in League of Legends where I'm almost positive, as long as the player has his monitor on, it's unwinnable.
So with that, would you also say it's very similar for Leona, Rell, those types?
Yeah. Rell is really good. I don't know about Leona as much. I don't actually like Leona as a support right now in general, to be fair.
I don't play Leona ever.
I think there's just better supports. There's better supports that do better stuff. It's hard to argue with that, I think. So it's like Milio's a great pick too. It plays well into that, but I think Milio's also just really good with like hard carries, right? Like Milio's just hard to play against. Like a good Milio is rough. Milio Caitlyn I've seen a lot lately is good.
Yeah.
Trying to think. So that's 4, right? And then I don't like, here you go, Braum. Jinx Braum is fucking impossible to play versus. And then I think you can kind of go pocket pick a little bit, right? So like maybe a Poppy. I don't mind Poppy, Rakan, something like that. Tahm Kench.
Yep.
Because those are things that can carry a team fight essentially, right?
Yep.
Like a Poppy can carry an objective by ulting the jungler away, also just by running around the map and like roaming really well.
Being a nuisance, yeah.
Rakan ult can literally make the most brain dead players on your team function because they see them walking and they go burr.
Yeah.
Tahm Kench is Kench, dude. That champion's a menace.
Disgusting.
Pyke. Like I'm just saying like things that are in their own class, right?
Yeah.
Zyra is kind of in her own class. Zyra APC is one of the best APCs in the game right now.
So to narrow down these picks, because your answer has been just get 5 characters that sort of are that are in the circle of counters.
Pocket pick essentially.
Yeah.
Four in a pocket pick is usually what I'd say.
4 in a pocket pick that like sort of work into the circle of counters, because like there's that exists. So with blind picking, which is what you have to do, I think 50% of the time on support.
Right,
really.
I'd say so.
Would you say Nort is like best in class engage or?
I think not is really good if you ban Braum straight up because you can just get away with a lot and he's very good. So if we're talking blind pick, right? So I would say that, like, for instance, let's say I don't know. Like the list I just gave you is into like counters, right? And let's say the other list is blind pick, right? You can still play those champions in blind pick, right? At that point, I'm picking around my ADC more so than counters. And then I'm just banning something that makes it hard for me, right?
Interesting. Okay. Blind pick with ADC, ban counters. Yep.
Yeah. So you're banning out like Braum as Nautilus essentially, right?
Yeah.
And let's say you pick Nautilus because you have like Samira, right? Because that's like her best like duo, so you would pick that, right? So the thing is, like, you're literally just picking around the idea, like Lux Ashe, for instance, right? You're picking around the idea less so of what you see on the other team, and more so what you see on with yourself. Or, you know, if you see something like something dumb, right? I almost call it like counter picking your ADC. So like let's say your ADC sees Caitlyn on the other team, right? Yeah. And he goes, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna play Zeri." You are literally picking to keep him alive because that is an unplayable matchup.
Yeah.
It is an unplayable matchup, dude. So like at that point, you are quite literally just playing for the idea that you can keep, like, you can make that work, right? Yeah. So you're picking something at that point like a Lux because you need to make sure she's locked down enough for you to fight.
Interesting. So this sort of leads pretty well into the support macro question I have.
Okay.
So we'll keep it to engage supports because realistically, I'm not going to be playing enchanters for a little while. Right. I don't see much use in playing enchanters outside of like specific pairings, like obviously Twitch and stuff has good synergy with enchanters, but I think in low elo especially, it's engage all the way just because it, for me, the way I've explained it to people is I pick engage supports because I feel like sometimes your ADC really needs to be like spoon fed their kills, you know? And engage makes it easy to spoon feed. So
that's fair.
With engage macro, so tell me about lane states. When you're looking to roam mid, are you mainly looking to roam mid off of your ADC's back timer or wave state? Because with me, I used to do it off of, we've shoved the wave, we shouldn't be hitting tower, I'll ping my ADC off and I'll go mid.
Okay, so that's a really good question because that's so I generally speaking say, like, let's say, okay, roam timers, right? So like that's kind of where that leads into is just roam timers in general. So like, let's say, it's a little bit harder to explain because like I know visually, like, because I used to know the exact numbers, but now I just know visually. Let's say I see 14 minions piled up at the tower. I know about how long I have plus the walk time. Let's say 30 seconds from the base.
Your tower or the enemy tower?
No, at the enemy tower.
Okay.
So let's say I push that in. Let's say it takes, let's say 8 seconds to back for my ADC, 30 seconds to walk back. So, I mean, well, 30 seconds is just a number, but 30 seconds to walk back. I know about how long it takes, depending on the champion, to walk from bot lane to mid, right? And so at that point, I know I have about a minute-ish to do what I need to do, right? Because once you crash that wave, it's going to rebound to you anyway, right? So the thing is, like, let's say it takes another 10 seconds to rebound. I have about a minute, okay? So the thing is, like, most of the time I'm looking at my HP, I'm like, okay, like, let's say I'm a full HP Karma, right? I'm probably going to go mid, try to just do anything I can mid, because you don't actually have to full gank as a support. You can literally just try to cut down their health, especially with something like Karma. So you just are literally just trying to hit abilities to push them out of the lane.
Into the lane.
You push the wave. You push the wave with your mid laner, and then you roam more. So the thing is, like, then I'm making a decision, okay? So I tell almost everyone in the game, I count, right? So, and this is how I started getting really good at macro, because I think it's the best thing you can do, especially jungle or support. So whenever I'm not doing anything, basically, like, if I'm just walking around, right? I start counting and I go, okay, if I've more than about 10 to 15 seconds of doing, like, and then I just kind of constantly ask myself, I'm like, okay, what's my value? What was my value of being here? What's my value of doing this, right? And if I have like 10-15 seconds of clicking around, I should have just backed.
Yeah, definitely.
And I know I'm wrong. I know I'm wrong, right? So the thing is, like, and you see it a lot in junglers. It's like, oh, they click around before they back, and I'm like, okay, you wasted 15 seconds, and then another 15 seconds, and another 15 seconds, and by the end of a 30-minute game, they've wasted 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's the same with support. It's the same with support. You need to be constantly asking yourself, what's the value of what I'm doing right this moment?
Interesting. So you definitely view it as valuing your what you can bring to the table in any given lane that you're trying to look at versus the pressure you get from backing with gold to get more wards, a reset and all that, and then get back to your bot lane timing wise in relation to the waves.
Right. So the continued macro of that, and this is just as important. I think this is where people fall apart in low elo, right? So let's say I've made it to mid lane, right? I've pushed the wave, I've pushed the enemy out of lane, right? Well, then my next step is that's when you make the decision, because this is again is where it falls off, right? Because a lot of low elo players, the reason I bring up that like quote unquote timer in your head is because they'll sit there, they'll run around, they're like, oh god, what do I do, right? Do I need to back? Do I need to do something? As simple as this. You look up, you go, okay, there's basically 2 things you need to ask yourself. Is there a top objective up? Okay, let's say grubs are up. You need to just go take grubs with them, right? Because that's free. That's free. Mid lane's gone. Your mid lane is free. Even if top has no prio, it's way more. You can just go take it, right? That's gonna be a 3-on-2, or 3-on-2 at worst. And then the next question you have is, because like in low elo you just need to mind control your jungler. You have the same macro, just stick together. So especially in roams like that. So you just need to be like, okay, like let's see. Oh my gosh, look, my jungler's topside and he's taken 3 camps, right? Like maybe. So you're hedging in this point. Well, in this case, you're hedging your losses. So like, let's say all of a sudden you see the enemy Graves, he's bot lane, right?
Yep.
And they're just screwing around. Well, then I'm immediately pinging into the enemy jungle. I'm like, we're going, because you escort him in there, you ward, and then you back.
Yeah. Just give him a deep ward so he knows that he's safe on the invade camp, and then
leave. Exactly. So then you're just leaving. You don't need to be there. You can just back in a bush, be a pseudo ward for 8 seconds.
Yep. So
and then you just dead.
That it's interesting that you bring up the playing with jungle, because I duo with people pretty regularly, because I think that playing solo Q in low elo is a fucking suicide sentence.
It's rough.
So I used to play with a guy who was ADC. He used to be Masters when he had more time on his hands. When he played with me, he was around Plat Emerald with me.
Okay.
He taught me a lot about like lane macro in bot lane, which was pretty, like, I'm very thankful to him, and I still like talk to him. He's like he's pretty smart, and I love his opinions on the games and stuff. He would always prioritize the ADC's lane state and waves over early objectives, because he was of the opinion that only late objectives matter. But the current duo that I play with these days is a jungler who's basically like, fuck your ADC. If I'm fighting bot scuttle, you are like flashing and igniting for me, you know?
Do it.
Exactly.
I agree.
You agree, yeah.
I agree. So I used to do this like little like mini training plan. I did it for one of the guys who was on our college team, the support. And I actually did it for the jungler too, because this is a consistent opinion of mine, and it's that jungle and support are similar macro. They're basically the same. They should be doing the same things, right? That's why you gank as a support, stuff like that. And the reason I say that especially is like, well, so like with this like quote unquote like plan, I guess you can call it, we I used to tell my players, like let's say you're the support player, I used to tell them to go play two games of jungle, then 1 game of support. Because you will genuinely play better. Like every person I've ever told to do that will climb. You will climb.
Interesting.
And you'll int a little bit at first, and that's fine, right? Because it's not a role you play necessarily, right? But the thing is, when they take up for the things that you lack in the other role, right? So like, let's say you don't know how to roam correctly as a support. Well, now you know how to gank because you're also a jungler, right?
Yeah.
You don't know how to time manage correctly with those ganks. You know not to waste times, because when you're jungling, you're looking at timers. You're looking at the timer for your, the next objective, right? So it forces you to think about that. And then vice versa, not all junglers need to be carries, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, you know, let's say you're playing like something, I don't know, like Zach, right?
Yeah,
Or Sejuani, even better. Sejuani is
Yeah.
a great example. So let's say you're a Sejuani player. Well, maybe you're not playing the best Sejuani you can because you don't understand the concept of tanking as well as you could, right?
Mm.
And supporting other people. Well, I think that naturally you do the other way. You do 2 games of support, 1 game of jungle, right? And then you do that for I literally think like 30 games, and it will make you just a 50% better player. Because genuinely, you go and you play these, and you go as a support, like, or like as a jungler in this case, you play those 2 games of support, and you go, okay, like, what did I learn from that?
Yeah.
And naturally, you're just going to learn stuff because you're, you know, you go from this carry mindset to like, okay, sometimes it's okay to be carried, right?
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, I like that. Wait, give me a second. I got to think of if there's something else on this topic I want to ask about before moving on to the next question.
Yeah, whatever works.
So I'll give you a specific example. So say grub spawning in like 30. The wave is sort of in the middle of the roads. I know the enemy support has backed already. Enemy AD is like safe enough in lane. Is it a better move for me to start pathing to grubs where I think the enemy support's going to go, or is it a better move to stay and try and get a kill on the ADC?
So that ironically is the 50-50 rule again, my friend. And that is because I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, what's the kill? What's the chance I kill her, right? Because if you're playing like an engaged support plus Caitlyn, you could probably do it, right? Especially if they hit that like 50%, 50, you know?
Yeah.
Or just 50% health in that point, not even 50% over, right? Because there's a possibility of a dive because you're ahead, right?
Yeah.
Or like you have 2 to 1. So it's like you're just looking for the health bar, like the death, you know, like the death threshold, right? And if I don't see that, right? Oh, then I'm gonna go Tokyo drift through mid there and go straight to grubs, right?
Yeah, true. Okay, so it's just being super decisive about, like, being so sure about your own decision making that you're fine with doing what you think is best over what the ADC is going to feel about what you're doing. Because I know every ADC.
I do not care about the ADC.
Yeah, I know every ADC I've ever played with would be like, "What are you doing? We have a free we have free harass here," but I personally would be looking at that like, well, I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's like, so what? She's gonna farm and then back. Okay.
Yeah, true.
Wow,
true.
that sure did a whole lot, right?
Yeah.
Her backing, because the thing is, right? You got to remember, if you do not kill her and you do not deny her enough minions, it is not worth it for you to be there. There's nothing, because it's valueless. Because the thing is, let's say you deny her 2 minions. Oh God, she's gonna back, and oh man, she missed 48 or 28 gold. Oh no, it's GG.
I see.
You know, of course not.
On this topic, I don't know what it is with Bard. Something about that character does not click for me. I'll be playing him
Bard
like
players are heathens anyway.
Yeah, I'll be like, I'll spend like 6 minutes, and I'm like, I don't think I can leave lane without my like Jhin or whatever just dying for free, but I know I'm getting nothing done here, and then by the time it is finally time to like that I can get a roam out of spawn, I'm like, well, I feel like I should have been doing this.
I'm just gonna say it straight up: do not play Bard unless you're gonna one trick him.
Interesting.
Do not play Bard unless you're gonna one trick him. It is literally worthless because good Bard players are menaces. They're so hard to play against. I got hard carried the other day because our ADC entered face off, and then our Bard decided to build static Shiv Dead Man's Plate and then carried the game.
That's so funny.
Like, this is a challenger Bard player.
Yeah.
So it's like,
oh, to see the world
that guy's a one trick.
Eyes.
That guy's a one trick though.
Yeah.
I mean, and the thing is, like, all Bard players, like, you have to be born with the heart of a menace to play that champion.
Yep. 100%.
And that's it. It either clicks to you or it doesn't. Straight up. Like, I know so many people. Like, I mean, the thing is, have you ever met a good Bard player who's not a one trick? Probably not.
My best mate's like
an actually good one, like an actually really good Bard player.
I was just gonna say my mate's like a pretty decent subpar one. Shout out Yang. But he's not a one trick. He's like mainly a Shen player.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So
oh, actually, wait. Can I get your opinion on this?
Yeah,
Challenger player Yang, is Shen ult the best ult in the game?
Ooh, that's hard.
Yang,
actually, I'm not sure it is.
Yang's like, it is 100% the best ult in the game, and I'm like, what about X ult? And he's like, nope, this is better. Because I personally think best ult in the game. Oh god, what is it even? I think for just pure usefulness, I would probably go maybe like Seraphine ult or Renata ult, just because they're like team fight winners
I was gonna say
instantly.
not Renata ult, maybe. Yeah, because
Yeah.
a good Renata ult, no matter how bad your team is doing, you can like literally turn the entire game with it.
Dude, that's why I try to one trick Renata, but I swear it never goes well when I do it.
You don't want to one trick Renata in low elo. It
Yeah.
just doesn't work very well. It's not a good low elo carry.
People just don't get how she works, I feel like. Dude, especially
Exactly.
with the W. Especially with the W. ADCs will just be
Yep.
like, oh, well, I died. And I'm like,
And
no,
they walk
bro,
away.
you got 2 seconds left, bro. Fight him.
It's like do it. Yeah. It's like even if it doesn't work, it still puts them lower health. But
Yeah, and I'm like, bro, I ignited. You could have killed that. Yeah.
yeah, no, I think Shin's a good ult. Don't get me wrong. Like, but if you talk to my buddy, I main top lane, that man is suffering right now in like mid GM because Shin is not enough.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. Shin is good, obviously, right? Like, I think he has like insane value. The problem is, Shin is just like, it's not that hard to fuck up Shin, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, all you have to do versus Shin is like, hey man, what if I build Serp Fang?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a rough one. Yeah, it's like, oh man, Serp Fang. I mean, don't get me wrong, like Shin is obviously like it's for like skirmishes, it's probably the best ult in the game, I'd say.
Yeah.
For team fights, not so much.
Yep. So it'd be up there. It'd be like top 5, you reckon?
Yeah, it's like that's the thing. He's good for skirmishes because he can show up and make it a 3v2 or something, right?
Yeah.
But in a team fight, he has to be out of the team fight to do it. Like he has
Yeah.
to walk away from the team fight to do it. So it's like, okay, well now we have one less player for the next 5 seconds.
Honestly, dude, these conversations is so good because it's making me think of so many questions I have to ask that I've been like, sort of like, God, what would a high elo player do in this situation? So I have so many. Dude, just tell me when to shut up and I'll send you on your way. But
I'm good. I'm chilling.
So on that topic of having someone who can get to a fight quick, I'm thinking Briar, Shen,
Karma.
TF, Karma.
Yeah, Karma's fast as fuck, dude.
True, I
That champion
guess.
is unfathomably quick.
Kled or even anyone with a TP, right? I feel like
Yeah.
personally it's always the best macro to be on the other side of the lane to force someone who might not have TP and then TP as the fight's starting or just before. Is that correct?
I wouldn't do it just before. Like they need to go in before you start TPing because then they can't do anything about it. Like
True.
it's very awkward if you TP like right before, unless there's just like a reason. You know what I mean? Like if you're the only lockdown, maybe, right?
Yeah.
So you're talking about like more global, not truly global ults, but yeah, like large like range ults. Like I don't know, man. Sometimes like a fast Karma feels that way. Like I don't know, man. That champion appears like across the map. And you're like, what the hell just happened? She teleport?
Yeah.
Yeah, your question if she has teleport or not. But
Is she playing on Sil's
like-
Spellbook?
yeah, that's what I'm telling you. I'm like, what the hell? But that's just because really good Karmas roam super well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I think like a lot of the time you're waiting for the right moment. Like TPing in mid fight doesn't mean that it's always the right play to do it. Like just doing the TP, you need to think about when, right? So for like me, I'm like hoping that like maybe I see them blow like a 16-second ability, right? Or something like that. I'm going in 100%, right?
Yeah.
But like just because they're there, like how many times have you TP'd somewhere, like especially like TF ult that's quick, right? How many times have you TP'd somewhere and then just gotten insta like CC'd?
Yeah, true.
Probably plenty of times. It happens all the time. So like at that point, you're not thinking about necessarily the timing of like where they are. I'm thinking about the timing of like their abilities. Because like if Nautilus hooks the shit out of you, like what are you supposed to do with there? You probably just die.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So taking a back step to when we were talking about ADC's wants and needs versus what you know is right, this to me leads to the question of chat. I've gone through
Okay.
very long periods of time playing League with chat off because a lot of the times it feels like the players on my team don't have sort of helpful things to say. I can still see pings and stuff, and most people communicate through pings, I feel like. But with chat, there's just too much like typing. It takes my headspace out of like playing the game correctly, you know? And then I'll have chat
So,
on, and it'll be good.
I feel
for,
like I'm a disagreeer of most people. I
Alright.
find the value of chat. Sometimes just as a vent tool. I don't know, man. Sometimes I'll just vent a little bit. Like even if it's in like party chat, I'm like fucking team.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it just helps me a little bit. Maybe it helps me like to feel better. I'm like, I'm just acting like I'm flaming. I'm like, God, this fucking Bard's a shithead.
Yeah.
Just, like, I'll type in party chat sometimes, dude. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like as long as I see it on my screen, I feel like I'm doing better. It's fine.
Okay.
I just don't care.
A good mental
But like
release.
I'm also the type to be like, I mean, there's plenty of games. Like thank God it doesn't always record my my fucking text. But like you'll see me in games all the time, just typing. Like if you see me on a stream, like you'll see me just typing. I'm like, you guys just shut the fuck up and come with me. I'm like, come on. No, I just like spam ping. I ping like a shit ton, and I'm like,
Yeah, me too.
I'll communicate however I need. Like I just I don't know.
Hmm.
Like as long as you don't let other players tilt you with their texts or like their chat, like who cares?
Yeah, I feel like I go through periods where I'm completely unfazed by shit they're saying, and then I feel like I go through periods like I am right now where if like some shitter enemy ADC says like nice hook after I whiff a hook, I'm gonna be a little bit tilted, you know? So I'm just better off currently having chat off, but when I get like back in my mojo, back in my swing of things, I feel like I'm hitting everything, I feel like I'm him, then I'll turn chat on and I won't care what anyone has to say, right? But I feel like
I mean,
the ebbs
like
and
you'll see me
flows.
like if someone says some shit like that to me, I'll just be like nice forehead or something. Like just like I don't know, man. I feel like saying like goofy shit like that just like kind of
Yeah.
takes away the tension a little bit.
Yeah, true,
I mean,
true,
I'm
true.
also the type like my go-to is if someone if someone I'm a little known for this at this point, but if someone like adds me after the game to flame me, I just immediately like my go-to is I'm like, all right, let it out, little guy. I know we're a little angry.
We got an angry panda, bro.
Like, or if they piss me off, I'll call them obese and link them the application of my 600-pound life. I keep it on the notepad, like unironically.
Oh, that's so good. A recent one, someone said to me that I've been using is they said, "Oi cunt is, oi cunt is are your parents forklift certified, and do they see it as an achievement?" I don't know why, but I found that shit so funny.
Oh yeah, dude, like little shit like that stun locks them, and then you just
Yeah.
then you just like like that's how I keep these other challenger players out of my freaking game, dude. I'm like, if I do that, I know they're stun locked for 15 minutes after I unadd them. They can't queue up with me.
Yeah. Actually, do you have a mental reset? This is a good topic. Do you have a mental reset if you're like tilting too much in games and you notice you're playing worse? What's your mental reset?
I mean, it just kind of depends, honestly. Like I do stretches sometimes.
Stretches, that's fun.
Yeah, there's one that I do that's like I mean this is kind of like I guess different than the game, but like just as someone who works from home as well and spends a lot of time on my computer, it's very easy to get that like gamer hunch, you know what I mean, where you're
Yeah.
like hunched out a little bit and it just doesn't feel good for your posture.
Yeah.
So I do posture stretches a lot, and I think it just takes it off for a minute. Or like sometimes I just need to scream fuck, you know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. I, yeah, the screaming fuck is real. I feel that.
Yeah.
My other one is I have a cat, bro. Oh, I'll just go kiss her on the forehead a few times. You know, let the
I respect that.
Yep, let the serotonin just flow, and then I'm like, okay, I can play again.
Dude, you need it sometimes. I'm telling you, like this game is tilting, and anyone who tells you that it isn't is probably on crack.
Dead ass. I'm gonna pull up my op.gg. I played 2 ranked games. All things said and done, they weren't the shiniest examples of support greatness, but I had auto-filled ADCs both games, so I was like,
That's fair.
I was losing my mind a little bit. I definitely should have played them better in hindsight, but it was, where are they? Rank solo, yeah, both Nautilus. Eesh, these are not good score lines. But yeah, after those two, I was like, man, yeah, I'll keep playing, guys. Let me just go pet my cat.
I don't know, man. I like looking at the your OPG real quick there. I think my greatest advice to any player is genuinely just ask yourself, could I climb am I good enough that I could climb with any champion, right? Because like at that point, I think that's a great question. That was one of my first questions. I actually haven't been playing this game that long, compared to most players.
What
Like I've been
year
playing
did you
since like
start?
late 2019.
Okay, cool.
So like not like new, but like not as long as like a lot of players. Like most players I hear have been playing since like 2013 or something.
Yeah, I'm 2020.
Okay, so yeah, you're very similar. It's like yeah. So like, the thing is like that helped me a lot because I kind of had to start thinking. I'm like, wait, is my champion the issue? Am I the issue? Like,
Yeah, I have that thought a
is
lot.
my macro good? Is my macro good? Because the thing is, like, I mean, you can see with Zach right there. I'm not a Zach main,
Hmm.
and like I'm probably the best Zach world right now. But it's just I'm happen to be I'm not a challenger Zach one trick. I'm just a challenger player who happens to play Zach.
Yeah, I feel like that's an interesting question of could I win with any champion. I think, and I genuinely believe this. So before I played support, I used to be a top lane player. It was mainly like Camille, Irelia, Fiora, which I know are terrible climbing champs for low elo because it's too much like mechanics. But I was like, I think I started out like bronze, silver, gold, like with those
Right.
sort of ones, and then I switched over to support once. Actually, funnily enough, my boyfriend bet me that I couldn't play support because he thought I was too much of an
Calls you
egotistical.
bad.
No, yeah, he was like, "You're too egotistical and like, like 1v9 carry type. You'd never play support." And then I fell in love with Janna and became like a fucking support one trick.
That's
But
fun.
yeah, but anyway, the point of this is I definitely feel this in my solo lanes. My mechanics and like how conscious I am in my trading has definitely regressed because I'll take trades in solo lanes and be like, what the fuck was that? That was so bad for me. How did I not realize that was bad? But I feel like it doesn't matter how hard I get like beaten in the like lane. Like I will win
Right.
lanes sometimes, but like I know how to play late game macro like well enough. I feel like with solo lanes, but with support specifically, sometimes late game macro feels like warding the right things and setting up like paths of vision for your team to easily get to an objective and like enough deep vision so you know where the enemy like carries and tanks are going to be before a fight. But that sort of feels like
Yeah.
it, and knowing like hook priority, you know?
I think like one is like I guess like sometimes I remind myself on this is like mechanics do matter, right? And of course it does, right? But
Yeah, 100%.
like in that macro situation, like I'm basically just sitting there like, how brain dead can I make this for my jungler? That's
Yeah.
it. Like, you know, words included, like hooks. Like if I'm offering them to them on a
Yeah,
platter,
yeah.
can they at least like
Back
an ability? And the answer is usually they can.
Yeah. Yeah, roaming with I actually heard this really interesting idea from someone. I was watching like his video on how to escape low elo or whatever. And the only interesting thing he said was like sort of after lanes finish, you shouldn't necessarily be playing with your AD carry just because they're an AD carry. You should be playing if you're an engaged support, you should be playing with whoever is going to get a kill if you hook. So if
Yeah,
that's your jungler,
exactly.
run around with your jungler. If that's your mid laner, see if you can like get to their lane and like get them a free hook for an extra
Yeah.
free kill or a wave push, you know?
The thing is, you just gotta identify who's a little fed, right? And then you identify right after how easily you can just offer them something on a silver platter.
Yep.
Because you just can't assume that they have any brain at all. So you might as well just use it for them.
Yeah, yeah. Well, actually, this leads pretty nicely into my next question. So, not dying on engaged support. Something I go through
Right.
slumps of this. Some games I feel like I'll have stretches of time where like a lot of my score lines look really clean. It's like 2-0-12, like 3-1-17, like those types of score lines. And then I feel like I'll have like just certain games where
I'll
no
stop
one's
you there. brother.
oh
Let me tell you what.
What?
Let me tell you what. I unironically, when I was rank 1 Tarek, do you know what my KD was?
no.
I averaged 9 deaths a game.
Okay. Okay, because this is interesting because my jungler always tells me, like, what are you scared to die? Go in and hook.
I don't give a shit, dude. I'm
Yeah.
I'm running them down. It's me or them.
Yeah.
And like one of us is going to God today.
Yeah, it's because like in the moment I can identify that me hooking a fed like Syndra is good because even if I die 1-for-1 for it, the like
Right.
Nautilus who's died a bunch versus the Syndra with a bounty, obviously the enemy team needs Syndra more than my team needs me. But it feels like
Yeah.
a lot of times, especially low elo, when no one is picking tanks and on Nautilus I'm forced to go like lock it into Thornnail into like Abyssal for like some sort of tank remedy for our team because we have zero frontline. And like low elo ADs and mids won't play very consistently without like some sort of front line.
course.
It feels like my KD always ends up being like 112, like 13 or 14, you know?
So this is gonna sound goofy, but like I've consistently Like you'll notice, for instance, that I build different than literally every other Zach player, to the
Yeah.
point where like whenever they hit me up, they were like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Well, this is my reasoning, because I don't look at build guides ever. Like
Yeah.
I don't look at build like paths unless I'm in ARAM.
Mm.
Because let me tell you what, I have historically been like one of the weirdest players as far as like what I'm willing to do to win a game.
Mm.
Like I used to be an Echo one trick, and there is more than one game where I built Locket on Echo.
Wow.
Because I just don't care. Because the thing is, like, I'm not caring. If I'm fucking brain dead, I will literally just build Locket on Echo, because, or whatever champion. I don't care. I've built it on like almost everything, because I'm like, oh, look, there's a Kha'Zix, and I have a real fed ADC. I guess it's time for Locket Echo. Like, I just don't care. And like, genuinely, dude, if it's that big of a deal, I've done it on Taric many times in any elo, especially in low elo though. I have genuinely just built fucking Rocket Belt
On Tarek.
on Taric. I did it on Nautilus too, like, and Leona. I've done it on all of them. I don't care. Like, the thing is, like, my thought is, my biggest problem is if I get locked down, right?
Mm.
Well, then I'll get out. I might look like a goober doing it, but I don't care.
Interesting.
Like, the thing is, like, you just gotta recognize the fact that there's like if you care that much about your KD, do whatever you want to make it happen. Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing for me, is like, if I feel the absolute need that I have to get out of that fight, which usually I don't, to be honest. Like, most of the time I'm like, oh well, I did what I needed to do, and I'm just gonna see my gray screen for a little bit.
Mm.
But like, if you absolutely have to get out of a fight that bad, figure out a way with your itemization.
True. So you're saying that really with support, it shouldn't be about worrying about KD on like. Well, obviously there's bounds to this. If I'm fucking running down 20 deaths and getting no assists,
If
that's
you're
bad.
1 in 15, maybe not so much.
Yeah, but like generally, looking for good hooks on priority targets absolutely takes precedent over having a bad looking KD.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. All day long. All day long. And it's a little less so if you're like an enchanter. Like, if you're inting on an enchanter, that's probably a problem. But like, if I'm sitting there playing freaking Nautilus, Taric, like, I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
I am there. Like, you'll see me. There's probably clips out there. I think there's a clip of me supporting Tyler 1 and flashing into like 4 people as Taric and stunning all 4. And like, and like, I think I want to say that was a couple of years ago, but I literally was like, this Taric's a psychopath. And I'm like, and I mean, we won, and that's what mattered. I instantly died. I got popped instantly. And
Yeah.
I don't care. I sat there on my gray screen as I watched my team wipe.
Yeah, grinning.
I am. I was like, good luck, buddy. Like, how did
Licking my
that
chops.
happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, because like, people have this idea that like, you have to like get out to re-engage, but most of those cooldowns are so long anyway. How the hell are you actually gonna end up re-engaging? Like, realistically, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
The only characters I feel that on the re-engage sort of feeling is Thresh, back when he had the Ionian Boots of
Maybe
Lucidity thing. Yeah, Rakan and Braum a little bit. Because I feel like the longer you live on Braum and the more people you hit once with your passive, like in a team fight, means the more like
Braum
random
has the
stuns.
ability to get out. So
Yeah,
that's
because you can
fine.
W out, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so like, just don't use your W to like all in unless it makes like sense to do so, right?
Yeah. I think actually that's interesting with Braum. Do you think it's better to just like nail down one person, like auto them, like Q auto to get the stun, or do you think it's better to like auto 3 people separately, because your team should be auto attacking and
It just
they'll all get
depends.
stunned?
I think it just depends. Like,
Mm.
sometimes there's like a carry player that you just have to lock down.
Yeah,
And
true.
that's okay. If you just have to beat the shit out of them and make them sad, that's fine too.
Yeah. Interesting. Actually, while we're talking about support itemization, I would like to ask you about general best fit support itemization right now. Feels kind of bad to me because a lot of people are recommending lock it into Knight's Vow on Engage, or lock it into Zeke's.
Right. I'm seeing a lot of Zeeks.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm seeing Zeke's. I swear it's not good. Like, actually, funnily enough, I built Zeke's on Udyr once and it felt amazing. But apart from that, Zeke's has never really felt that good to me.
Right.
With a lot of my... I don't know if this is good or bad, but a lot of the time I feel like I sort of like this feeling of I know better than what the guides are saying. I don't think like I get that they're building the support items specifically because the support items are low gold items that they can get completed, but sometimes it feels better to have a Locket into Thorn Nail into a heavy healing team, or Locket into Frozen Heart into a heavy auto attacking team, than it would to have
Right.
Locket, Zeke's, and like a Kindle Gem. You know?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I don't see any problem with that. Like, I think it's just a thing of, honest to God, just building what you need at the time. Here, I'll give you a really good example because this guy's always the first person I think of. You know who Light Rocket is?
Never heard of him.
He's the Tarek jungle player on NA.
Oh wait, I think I've seen his clips.
Yeah. His most famous clip, I think, is like Giga healing Tyler 1 from when he was playing Annie from the jungle.
Yeah.
But okay, so like the thing is, right? Like he plays obviously Tarek jungle and Tarek support, but like, what the fuck is Rod of Ages on Tarek?
Yeah, well, if you think about it, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it works, right? So the thing is, like, this should prove to you enough. Like, I mean, look at it. He doesn't build anything consistently. He builds fucking Redemption instead
Yeah.
of Locket on this one.
Actually,
Like he literally is just he builds what he thinks is best for the situation. And I totally agree.
actually, this is interesting, and I'll ask you about it. Have you ever heard of? I think his name is Apos. He's a Scion support player. He's challenger in NA, I think. Or no, I think he's EU West, and he was master on.
Oh, okay, like that. Is that how you spell it?
I think Apos. I'll find him. And
I think I
I've-
talked about vaguely.
yeah, I've talked to him in the past. He's a Scion player. I'll just find his thing that he sent me. This is one of his NA accounts, D4, I think. Oh, he hasn't played this season. Damn. This was an interesting guy. He was very eye-opening. So his NA account is D4. I think he hit GM or something on like on EU West. Maybe he just hasn't played his NA account this season. But he was a silent support player who was preaching the Bible of every game he has different runes and items, and he never builds the same 2 games in a row.
Yep, I completely agree.
I also agree, because watching him, he's like, oh, this is easily like a shielding silent game where I'm just gonna build to get like a massive W shield, or this is easily like a full tank silent game, or this is easily like he'd have a lot of random runes and items, and he'd be like, this game is obviously this, and he'd have 5 different
And
presets.
Scion lends to that as well too, pretty heavily. But like, well, here's a good example, right? So, I don't think I said this before, but so I was 1.1k LP on Korea as well.
On Korea?
And like on Korea as well.
How the fuck?
So like the thing is,
did you
like,
go to Korea?
on EU West? Yeah, I did for 6 months.
Oh shit, okay, that makes sense.
But on EU West too, I was 1.2k LP, and every
Fucking hell.
game I build wild shit, dude. I just don't care.
Yeah.
Like it is like anything I can do to win the game.
Yeah,
And
whatever's
it's the
gonna
same.
win.
Like when I was a Rumble one trick, I did the same stuff. I literally was like, okay, like this game we need fucking this, and it's weird as hell, and I don't care. Like and there was multiple times where I built like, oh god, dude, Locket on Rumble as well.
Yeah, bro, I'm definitely
But,
tilted
like,
if I see my
I'm so
jungle
excited.
rumble building Locket, bro. I'm tilted.
Dude, oh man, like, well, and then the thing is, like, I was part of the people who came up with Hex Flash Rumble.
Oh,
Who the
yeah.
fuck does that? Or I was the person who came up with Hex Flash Rumble. Actually, one other person might have done it as well. But then there was like, oh god, what was it? Oh, Tank Rumble.
Oh yeah.
Tank Rumble was big. It still is. I think that's the build most people go still. Like with what's it called? Like Conquer.
Yeah.
I've done First Strike. I've done Dark Harvest. I've done Electrocute. I've done Comet. I've done Phase Rush.
How I want to tie what we're talking about into meta supports is okay. Let's start with Nautilus, obviously, because that's basically my fucking one trick.
Right.
When you're looking at a game as Nautilus, I just can't really conceive of anything apart from going either Aftershock or going Glacial. Maybe I could understand like Guardian, but realistically, I couldn't. Like, I see I saw one grasp game there. I don't know about that.
That's because that guy's not Nautilus top.
Oh lol.
But the thing is, but you know what I see here? I see some psychopaths who just build whatever the fuck they want, and like this guy, right? That guy, it seems to be working.
Yeah.
It's almost 56% right.
Wait, can you pull up that guy's stats? I want to see what the Warmog's rush looks like, because I used to fucking love the Warmog's meta, man. It's so sad they nerfed it.
Oh yeah. There we go.
What? That's crazy.
I love it, dude. What the hell?
Wait, one sec.
Dude,
I'll be right back. I'm just getting a call.
yeah, you're good. Yeah.
That sounds fucking fun as fuck. I can't wait. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, that's cool.
So back to
No,
what
you're
we're
good.
talking about.
Here's like something that I like. I was looking at well, this guy for one, the fucking Hex Flash and like occasional Enchanter stuff. I mean, he builds a Redemption on Nautilus.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, it's guys like this, dude. Like this guy has 15 different builds and they seem to work. Like this guy's a 72% winner on this one. And it's weird, right? Like, I mean, it's top lane, but like, there's no reason. Again, there is zero reason that you couldn't go this too.
Yeah.
Literally zero reason. Like, I mean, this guy, I mean, he has the slow to get out, obviously, but he also has like, some scaling and stuff like that. But it's like, I mean, like Abyssal Mask, stuff like that. If you have a hugely AP team,
I love
Like-
Abyssal Mask.
yeah, it's just stuff like that. Like, at the end of the day, right? Like, whatever you're building, it can follow a guide, but like, who cares, right? Like, as long
Yeah.
as it works, like that's what you got to remember. Like, people are too stuck up with the guides, but like, if it works, right? Who
Yeah.
gives a shit?
As long as it like
Oh yeah,
fits
I'm
the game
the
state.
17th rank one trick on.
Yo.
I didn't even know that.
That's
kinda
drip.
cool. I would have been 12 earlier. Yeah, 12 earlier today.
Wait, are these one trick
Uh,
scores? How do they even
yeah, they are.
calculate one trick scores?
People who played over like a certain percentage.
Huh. Not a poppy.
Yeah, number one. I wonder if
Yeah.
that's Dangerous Boy Addy. Probably is.
Interesting.
But yeah, Duo King, one of the most toxic players on NA, but he's a Zyra APC one trick. Like there you go. Like that guy doesn't give a shit. He's like, I want to carry with Zyra, so he did. Like no, there's so many weird things that people are willing to like build. I mean, AP Jacks, like that's a thing.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I'm just trying to grab like a random. Here you go. Poppy's a great example, dude. No one builds the same thing on Poppy. That's what I was thinking about. Is like, there's a bunch of them, like, but Poppy is a great example of like something like they'll build like the first item maybe similar, but then they'll build like wild shit afterwards.
Yeah. So how do you feel about support Poppy? Because I know it's
I
in a
think
good.
she's really good.
Yeah, I know it's in a good spot. I see a lot of people playing it, and Poppy feels pretty oppressive to play against.
Right. Yeah, she's just a good champion. Like I think that she just is easy to play. She builds well. Like she builds good items, Like it's not something that you're necessarily having to like think too hard about, but like this is always the website I use. I don't really use OPGG.
Yeah. What is it?
Let's see
Deep
here.
lol GG.
Deep Wall? Yeah. It's the Korean one. Korean website. No one qualifies, I guess. I'm trying to think if there's any like other really interesting ones because there have been like I know people play everything on TF.
Yeah. ADTF used to be so big.
Oh yeah, that was a certainly a meta of all
We're
time.
back.
Yeah, you're good.
I'm back.
Nice.
Okay, so
Good timing. I literally just sat back down.
Dude, honestly, I've been busting to go to the bathroom since you were talking
don't
about
blame you.
like vision circles or some shit. I've just been like holding
I
it
don't
in.
blame you. Here's what I wanted to say really quick. This is a really good example. Zach, dude, everyone builds this shit different, like consistently.
Yep. Oh
Like,
wow.
There's 1,000 different builds on Zach, and it's all relatively meta.
Yep.
So like that's what I didn't think about until just now.
Well, yeah, it's all pretty useful. I would say, I think I've run out of questions to ask. I know there's other stuff
Yeah.
that I'll be thinking about it later, and I'll be like, shit, I should have asked this.
No problem. I'm always around. You can add me on Discord if you ever have like a question you want to ask,
Sick.
text wise.
I would say, is there anything you want me to like plug you on?
No, I don't care. I don't like stream or anything.
Like no Twitter or anything?
Nope. I don't have any social media at all.
Oh wow. Wait, so
Yeah, buddy.
You don't have to answer this, but how old are
Yeah.
you?
26.
26K.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a TikTok. Never had a TikTok.
Yeah. So funny actually. I have a TikTok account under the same name as this Twitch channel and my YouTube channel and everything, and it's just to try and promote this. And there's some fucking cringe ass shit on there.
Dude, I cannot mentally handle it. I've seen it on like YouTube and shit. I'm like, no, I think I'm good for like my entire existence without having to deal with that, dude.
Yeah. Like I cannot do dancing, bro. Dancing and seeing other people dance makes me cringe.
Oh, same.
But
Yeah. I get secondhand embarrassment really bad.
yeah. I go to that said, I can sometimes like almost understand where people who like dancing come from because I go to like a shit ton of hardcore shows and metal shows. And like I'll hit two steps and shit and like pit, and I sort of like from that angle maybe like understand what they're like getting at, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I like a good show. I'm going to Metallica next year.
Oh yeah, sick.
Oh yeah. Metallica, and then I just went to a Three Doors Down concert. It's not really metal, but still.
That's it. Well, yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna go eat some food.
Yeah, what time is it for you? It's like late or?
It's like 8. It's nothing too crazy.
Oh, it's not that bad, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, man. I'll keep on watching the stream and stuff.
Sick. I'll probably go play support now and try and put into practice some of the stuff you told me.
Go be a menace on the Rift.
Yep, I'm gonna build
yeah.
IE first Nautilus, and I'm gonna say my challenger friend said so. So.
Hell yeah, dude, that's the way. No, I've told all my friends, I'm like, you're more than welcome to just tell someone. And I was like, and if they don't believe you, have them add me in game, and I'll tell them. I was like, just tell me beforehand what you want me to say, and I'll say it. And I was like, yep.
Oh, that's so
It's the
funny.
meta.
That's so funny. Okay.
All right, later, homie.
Well, thanks for all this. Peace.
Yeah, of course.
Wow. Well, that was actually so useful. I feel like I got a lot of questions answered. I think I talked to that guy for like 2 hours straight. So now that we know this new information, I'd say it's time to put it into practice. So on his circle of I sort of think about it a little bit like a circle of fifths, which is like music.
Put this shit into practice, right?
How long have you been watching stream?
Fucking it, dude. That was ages, bro. Like an hour and a half.
You've been watching for an hour and a half. You listen to what that guy was saying?
Yeah, I was into the jungling part.
Yeah.
Interested.
He's
Kinda left.
dude, what an interesting guy. This is what I'm saying, bro. I love talking to people who are like fucking good as shit at what they do. They just have fun takes, and they're like, it's interesting how like knowledgeable they are. It's fun to pick brains.
Yeah. Well, what do you want to play? I don't really care.
I'll be playing support. Very interesting. So yeah, I still think it's fair to think of support as that sort of circle of fifths mentality. Where you got like everything that counters everything else, and like everything that can fit into everything else. With like obviously he said that the good picks.
I felt like he died a little bit on the inside when he told you to stop playing Thresh.
No, yeah, dude, I did, bro. My heart sank. Cause I know Thresh is like the Irelia type of champion that you shouldn't really be playing when you're like climbing and shit. But I love Thresh so much, and sometimes Nautilus feels like. Did you see it in my face? Be honest.
I just knew that you were like so sad.
Oh fuck. Yeah, but he said like Melio's good, Nami's good, Luck's good, Naught good. And then he also said Rakan and something else. I wrote it down in my notes. In my notepad. Tom Kench. Maybe I need to sink some games into Tom Kench.
He's pretty busted. You should play Poppy. I think Poppy is disgusting.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
This feral creature.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know about Poppy. Because that's not like a cat. Like, I've never played Poppy pretty much. That would be learning a whole new character and then how it fits into the lane. Whereas, like, Rakan and Tom, I already know how to play. Kench is mega AIDS to play versus. Probably the best support and top right now. So, you reckon I play some Tom Kench? Expand
Tom
my
Kench.
borders like Noxus type shit?
Tom Kench is really disgusting at the moment.
Yeah. I saw this disgusting, it's brain dead, lol. I saw this, guy who was playing, Hail of Blades Tahm Kench. So he'd W in auto Q.
Oh,
He can do 1v2 some bot lanes. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it, sadly.
yeah, I've seen that shit as well. Disgusting.